So your character introduction is very important. And I just wanted to shoot a video today about using an example to help illustrate that, you want to introduce your character in an interesting way. You want to have them doing something. You want them it's good to try to have them doing something that they're good at. So later in the film, in the story, you'll see them be bad at something or be bad at that same thing, or maybe that thing they were good at before backfires on them somehow. So this is just a few notes here about what to do with a hero protagonist introduction. This is just notes taken from this screenplay course, simple screenplay structure that I've been working on. So, like I said, make them interesting. Have your protagonist doing something, not particularly physically moving or whatever, just something. Please don't introduce them turning off an alarm and getting out of bed. I highlight this because I've seen it so much, and I don't know why, but it's just such an amateur thing to do that everyone does. I'm pretty sure everyone who's ever written a screenplay has one where they open it with their character getting out of bed. Don't know why that's a thing, it just is. But also, this is the writing part. When you're writing it, you want to, use one word, use just few words to describe how they look, or even in the script, one or two words, maybe a short description, but nothing too long, nothing. You don't need to go into details of what they're wearing, unless what they're wearing is important to the character. And then enter them in a scene that shows a character through actions. You always want to show a character through actions. You don't want to just straight up have them saying things that are like who the character is. Now I'm going to use an example of Chinatown. We're going to watch the first minute or so-ish. The scene where they first introduced Jake Gittes, because I want to use him as an example for how to introduce a character, a great way to introduce a character. So we're going to get into that now.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh. Ah.
All right, Curly, enough's enough. You can't eat the Venetian blinds. I just had them installed on Wednesday.
Alright, so we just finished watching the intro scene to Chinatown. This is basically the first time. This is the first time we see Jake right here in this shot. He's sitting there in his nice clean white suit. He's very slick and clean. He obviously appearances are very important to him and his job. As you can see, his office is very nice. There's books that maybe he's read, maybe not. I mean, he's a private investigator. I don't know if all private investigators had amazing offices back then in the 40s. But you can see that how he appears to people is very important. Almost even kind of in the way he's looking at Curly right now. He's just kind of looking at him, paying attention, but at the same time, you can kind of see that he's just kind of like not even there in his head. He's somewhere else. That's just kind of what I take from that. There's just so much that can be taken from just this one picture. And then the very first thing that comes out of his mouth is like, don't eat the Venetian blinds. I just had them installed Wednesday. which tells you a lot about his character immediately, just through his actions, just for what he says. Of like, again, appearances are very important. He cares more about blinds that just got installed than, you know, what happened to this guy. I mean, this moment, this scene that's happening, I'm sure it happens to him multiple times a day. People are just like, oh no, my wife's cheating on me, my husband's cheating on me. And he's like, yeah, you know, that's awful, whatever. I mean, he deals with this all day long. So he's just sitting there thinking about what he's going to do after this. Like, what's he going to have for lunch? Or, you know, the guy tries to eat his blinds. And he's like, don't eat those blinds. Just because, you know, that's what he cares more about. All he really cares about more than anything is how he appears to people. I mean, it's his job as a private eye to investigate and take it seriously, but when it's all said and done, how he is perceived by other people is the most important thing to Jake. In the beginning, at least, Jake Gittes, although he doesn't really have the standard character arc, but that's a whole other video or story or something that I want to talk about. But I just really want to talk about a great character intro, and I think that this is such a great one because it's so short. I mean, it's a pretty short scene in general. After Curly leaves, he goes on, and the story pretty much begins almost right away. But what you learn from meeting him right away, it speaks volumes of the character, who he is at this moment, and it's just an excellent introduction to a character and a great example and something that people should study more. And the film itself can be studied so many different ways. I just wanted to use this film as an example for how to have a great character introduction. Alright, well that's it for the video. Thanks for watching.